Good morning and welcome to another lesson from Polyglot Buzz, lesson number 7, Erakusleak, which means demonstrative. In English, we have demonstrative pronouns and adjectives. The demonstrative adjectives in English are this, that, this, and those, and they are the words used instead of articles to indicate, show, or point to a specific name. We know that an adjective is a word that adds a quality: red car, white church. In this case, we are replacing red or white by a demonstrative adjective. So we are no longer giving a color, we are giving a pointing out, like we used to use the or a, which are the articles. Now we are using demonstrative adjectives instead. For instance, txakur hau handia da. This dog is big. Hau is your demonstrative adjective and txakur is your noun. In English, backwards. This dog is big. The demonstrative pronouns in English have the same function as the demonstrative adjectives, and they look the same, but they also replace the name. That's why they are a pronoun. So in English, they look like this one, that one, these ones, those ones. For instance, in the example that we just used, txakur hau handia da, this is your demonstrative adjective, this dog, but hori txikia da, but that one, demonstrative pronoun, is small, because we are not saying the word txakur, we are not saying the word dog, so we are not using a noun. Therefore, this demonstrative is a pronoun, not an adjective. It's a little bit of a tweak, but you will understand as we proceed. In Basque as in English, adjectives and nouns do not have to agree on gender, female or male, so we only look at the number. And in Basque, they are placed at the end of the nominal group that they determine instead of in front of the noun like in English. A nominal group is a group of words that go around a noun, nominal. For instance, the great church. The great church, it makes a little group, all goes with church. The church is the one I am pointing at, plus great, the great church. Txakur hau handia da, this dog is big. Txakur hori o ura handia da, that dog is big. Txakur hauek handiak dira, these dogs are big. Etxe horiek, haiek, txikiak dira. Those houses are small. So you have hau, hori, ura in the singular, hauek, horiek, haiek in the plural. And as you can see, that in English has got 2 positions in Basque. Those in English have got 2 positions in Basque. What does this mean? In the case nor. Case nor is used for intransitive verbs, normally movement verbs. They are placed in English, demonstrative adjective and noun. This big house. In Basque, house, big, this. Etxe handi hau. Izena adjetiboa erakuslea. That is in Basque, the same thing. For example, adibidez. Neska hau. Hau, this girl. Neska polit hori. That nice girl. Gizon hauek. These men. Gizon jator haiek. Those nice men. You may have to have a look at this slide a couple of times. When you get it, then you can move on. In the meantime, if you want, you can stop the video. In Basque, the demonstrative adjectives and pronouns have a first position, this and these, nearby the speaker. A second position, that and those, further away from the speaker. And a third position, that and those, but in a very far away distance or in time. In the case nor, they are placed exactly the same as in the demonstrations of the nor case. Like we said before, demonstrative adjective and noun, noun, adjective and demonstrative. If you got it before, you get it now. It's worth taking a little bit of time to understand. I do realize that there are lots of people who only want a language to just speak it. But if you want to understand the grammar, the building blocks, then it's a different kind of security that it gives you. But it depends what you want the language for. And it depends if you are studying for an exam or you just like trying to talk the language. Either way, I explain it to you, and then You can always ask me a question if you don't understand. So we need a transitive verb. What is a transitive verb? We saw it before. It's a verb with a direct object. Now, what is a direct object? Okay. This girl writes a letter. Neska honek gutun bat idazten du. That is in Basque, okay? So to write, writes, write is a transitive verb. Why is it a transitive verb? Idatzi in Basque. Because you can write something. When you can ask the verb, do you write something? What do you write? A letter. Then the letter is your direct object, that thing that you have written, and the verb is a transitive verb. So what does this girl write? A letter. Gutun bat. Neska honek gutun bat idazten du. And honek is from the transitive nork case. A letter is a direct object. I have the first position and the second position and the third position, just like the demonstrative adjectives, and they look like this. Honek, horrek, ark, hauek, horiek, haiek. They mean exactly the same as the case nor, but the only difference is that the verb is either intransitive or transitive. Movement, direct object. You cannot ask the question, what do you go? It makes no sense. What do you go? What do you eat? I am eating an apple. You can ask. And the apple will be your direct object. And that is why we differentiate nor and nork. Partitive case. This is when we make a negation in Basque. So for instance, we don't have anything. We don't have something. We don't have a thing. We put the suffix rik, but the R, depending on the word, if it finishes in either a vowel or a consonant. For instance, I don't have a dog. I don't have any dogs. It's the same in Basque. Nik ez dauka txakurrik. See, it's doubled up R. It's kept the R, txakurrik. So you don't put the A of the article. That A disappears. Neskak ez dauka lagunik. The girl doesn't have any friends. And you see, it's taking out the R. It didn't put the R because lagunrik sounds very difficult to pronounce. So in this case, we don't put the article A at the end of lagun. So we don't say lagunarik. We say lagunik. So we just use the form ik of the partitive, and we must be careful with the words that we are negating, whether we put ik or ik. But there is no more to it than that. It's quite basic and quite interesting. Zenbaki indeterminalak, also called indefinite adjectives or indeterminate numeral adjectives in English. It's very long words just to say there is an adjective that is not determined. The opposite of what we just saw, determined adjectives, indeterminate adjectives. Once you group them, then they are easy to remember. They modify names in a non-specific way. What does this mean? All the books are good. Liburu guztiak onak dira. Each student must speak. Ikasle bakoitzak hitz egin behar du. I have many houses. Nik etxe asko dauzkat. Guztiak bakoitzak asko. All, each, many. What does that mean? A little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's not this particular one. It's a lot of them, all of them, general, non-specific way. So what are the indeterminate numerals? Another, beste, certain, zenbait, each, bakoitza, many, asko, several, hainbat, some or any, batzuk, all or every, guztia, dena, few or some, gutxi. Okay? Those are vocabulary words that you can use, and we use them all the time, just like in English. Berrikusketa. Let's do an exercise. Fill in the gaps with the correct form of adjectives or demonstrative pronouns and add partitives if necessary, the negation. Okay? So as always, I will give you the results at the end. So start writing on the side and see if you get it right. You can stop the video before you see the answers. Let's go. Neska ez dauka lagun negativo. Negative. Okay? So a clue. This neska. Maia, that, second position, oso polita da. Gutun, that, third position, oso tristegarria da. Mutil, those, second position, sagar bat nahi dute. Txakur, that, third position, hezur bat dauka. Katu, those, third position, beltzak dira. Lore, these, so that's close, first position, obviously. Oso koloretsuak dira. Abesti, those, gustatzen zaizkidan. This is a mistake. The correct conjugation is gustatzen zaizkit. Just use your logic and use your intuition. Otherwise, go to Google and translate, but see if you can get it without looking, then you double check with Google. In any case, I will translate it for you in a second. Right, erantzunak, answers. Neska honek ez dauka lagunik. This girl doesn't have any friends. Honek because it is a nork. What doesn't she have? Friends. Friends is your direct object, so have is a transitive verb. So we use the nork case, and we put ik because it's a negative, and we are using the partitive case. Mahai hori oso polita da. Hori, second case. Nor is not a transitive verb. Da. So you start learning, put your verbs in two columns, which ones are transitive and which ones are not transitive or intransitive, so that you start getting used to see them in one side or the other. Gutun, ura, oso tristegarria da. That letter is very sad. It gives me sadness. It produces sadness. Third, ura, nor. Da, we just said it, is intransitive. So it's the nor case. Mutil, horiek sagar bat nahi dute. Those boys want an apple. Second, horiek. Okay? Because they want something. What do you want? An apple. Transitive verb, nork case. Txakur, that, third case. Hezur bat dauka. That dog over there has a bone. Third position, very far away. Look at that dog, it's got a bone. So, ark. Katu, beltzak dira. Katu, haiek. Those ones, third position. Those cats over there, they are black. Lore, hauek, oso koloretsuak dira. These flowers are very colorful. Lore, hauek, oso koloretsuak dira. Abesti, horiek, gustatzen zaizkidan. We will see the verbs, but at the moment, I like those songs. Abesti horiek gustatzen zaizkidan. How many did you get? I know it looks like a crazy house at the moment, but like everything, practice makes perfect. And as always, I am here for you to ask me any questions, okay? So, I hope you enjoy your lesson. Join the Polyglot Buzz community, share the joy by learning together. Talk, listen, read, and write. Communicate and expand with patreon.com and Polyglot Buzz. And as always, love it, like it, subscribe it, share it. Agur!